5,200 pounds. Welcome everyone, my name is Mitch. I work here at Toy Barn Cars in Dublin, Ohio. Standing right here in front of a 2021 Audi RSQ8. We're gonna give you a walk around. A couple years ago we got the Lamborghini Urus, which was all well and good. We all freaked out about it. It was awesome. You know, one of the fastest SUVs you can buy. The RSQ8 has been kind of a little brother to the Lamborghini Urus. We got a lot of hype when the Urus came out, and I think that this car may be a little underappreciated. When I say little brother, I don't mean really size-wise. It really sits on the same platform as the Urus. Same engine as well. 5,200 pound car that does 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, which is pretty insane. To get that kind of performance with that kind of, you know, moving that kind of weight around is no easy task. But we're gonna go ahead and give you a walk around and show you why, you know, $100,000 less than a Urus really doesn't, you know, you're really not missing out on much. So what I'd really like to show you is how cool the design is on these front headlights. And when you unlock the car, so you're coming up after dinner, go ahead, gives you a nice little, really well thought out little dance on the headlights there, which is really cool. Something else you might notice at the front of this car, these are not panel gaps. These are little air intakes, and you can see we do have a very big front grille on the front fascia here of the car. This car makes a lot of horsepower, and it makes a lot of heat. It's a twin turbo. You know, turbos get hot. We need a lot of air moving through the front of the car to help cool the engine, cool the turbos, and make sure that you're running at, you know, optimum temperature, not losing out on any horsepower, not getting heat soaked, and you're really driving this car hard. Amazingly beautiful car, but it does weigh a lot, so you're gonna have really giant brake calipers. I'll throw my hand up here just to give you an idea of how big these things actually are. I mean, it's gonna take almost 2.5 of my hand lengths. 23-inch wheels, front and back, I believe. You know, it's kind of a race to see who has the biggest wheels these days. Audi is not losing out on that game, so they went 23-inch wheels all the way around, which is really aggressive, but they look really good. They fill out the wheel arches really well, gives the car a really nice stance. I'll go ahead and open this front door here. You got frameless doors, which is really nice. Gives the car a nice sporty look. More of a kind of, you normally see these features on coupes, not on SUVs very much, so that's really cool. If you get in really close here on these windows, you'll notice they're double glazed, so you do have 2 windows there that are kind of, you know, glued together. However they do it, it's magic, it's Audi, we'll just trust them on this. That helps really cancel out a lot of noise that you get from the outside, makes the ride a lot more luxurious. So I'm gonna swing around to the other side of the car. You can come in this way, and we'll show you some of the interior bits on this car as well. Moving into the interior here on the RSQ8, we do have quite a few highlights in here that I'd like to walk you through. Starting with the steering wheel. Nice, really thick steering wheel. Very similar to what you get on an RS7, things like that. If you look here at the dashboard, we do have the full digital cockpit, which is really cool. We have a bunch of different view settings that we can have in here. You can have a full display of all of your power, your torque, current horsepower. That's all real time. As you can see, you can get a full display of your current navigation. It'll pull a full map up. It looks, you know, very similar to like a Google Maps or something like that. You also have something really special. You have a button here that just says RS mode, very similar to like an M button that you'd find on a BMW steering wheel. If you touch this, it's automatically going to put the car into an Rs1 mode. It's going to sharpen up your throttle response. It's going to sharpen up your steering as well. Click this one more time, you get into Rs2 mode, which is going to take off your stability control, your traction control. If you want to, you know, drift your, you know, your SUV around the track, you certainly can do so. You also have 2 touch screens. I know it's a lot of screens. Everything is kind of a haptic feedback. The button doesn't actually depress, but it gives you this feedback where it makes it feel like it does, which is kind of sketchy. All of your climate controls, kind of car settings are going to be on this bottom screen here. You know, you can adjust the temperature, adjust your seats, adjust where the, you know, where the climate's going to come out at you, you know, obviously at your head, at your feet, you know, on the defroster, things like that. We have carbon fiber that lines the entire dashboard all the way across, and also a little bit of kind of a sporty touch with the ambient lighting as well. We can change these colors up, you know, kind of will change the whole mood of the interior of the car. RS, kind of an RS embroidery on the back of the seat. Something of note here in the center console, it's got a wireless charger, so if you put your phone on here, it will charge. Go ahead and charge that phone up wirelessly for you as well. Moving to the back seats here, as you can tell, the seat's in my seating position. I'm not the tallest human being on the planet. As you can see, I have ample amounts of room back here for my feet and legs, as well as you have quad zone climate control across the whole car, so I can have my set to 75, and someone over here in the back seat can have their set to 65. Leather wrap armrests here with cup holders as well. We do have a embossed RS logos across the back seats as well, which is a really nice detail. detail. You know, sometimes you only get them in the front seats, but Audi went ahead and did RS logos in the back as well, and continued this kind of Urus style stitching pattern in the seat inserts as well, which I think is really, really nice. Nice attention to detail. Moving around to the back of the car, there is some really cool stuff I'd like to show you back here. Really nice big dual exhaust tips. They're actually hiding quad exhaust inside, so you get a quad exhaust, but you do get these nice chrome exhaust tips to make it look a little bit more appealing from the back, instead of a little bit too busy having, you know, 4 exhaust pipes dumping exhaust out of the back, especially when you're running up gears. You definitely get that nice exhaust dump when you up change on gears, which is super cool. Something I'm really excited to show you guys in the back. I know trunks aren't exciting at all, but part of something that I didn't realize it did until about 20 minutes ago. If you're trying to load some really heavy stuff here into the back, and if you're like me, kind of short, this car has a feature where you can actually drop the entire rear of the car. Drops probably about 3-4 inches here in the back, loading stuff into the car a whole lot easier. You can also raise that right up in the back as well. We've got these lovely tail lights. We've got this really nice continuous light bar that runs right across the back of the car. A really aggressive spoiler on the back of the car as well. Something you don't see apart from you know, this RS model. Is it making downforce? Probably not, but you know, does it look super rad? Yeah, it does. In this car, you can adjust the side bolsters as well as the thigh bolsters. It really keeps you in your seat. You don't have to hang onto the steering wheel as much. You get a lot more steering feel if you're, you know, driving with your fingertips a little bit more than if you're driving while gripping on it really hard, trying to keep you in your seat. If you have nicely bolstered seats, it kind of prevents you from sliding around a lot, which is really what you want. We've got the car in comfort mode at the moment as well. Actually, you know, pretty compliant, pretty smooth. Rides like really any other Audi. I'd say it's, you know, pretty floaty, pretty nice. You can kind of tell when the active suspension is kind of making adjustments, you know, as you drive along, and it's really nice. It makes for a pretty nice ride. I mean, are you guys comfortable?
Oh yeah.
Pretty nice, especially for something, you know, something with, you know, this much sporting capability, especially with the massage seats that we're both rocking.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they're really nice. If anybody's wondering, the stretch setting on the Audi massage seats is by far the best setting. We'll go ahead and put it in this Rs1 mode here. We don't need to turn everything off. We're not going to be doing full drifts in this car, but we will do so, you know, a bit more sporty driving. We'll put it in our manual transmission setting. You can manually select the gears. This has got a really, really nice transmission. They always let you select what gear you want. Some cars will think they know what's best for you when selecting a gear. So we'll go ahead and throw in Rs1 mode here. We'll drop a couple gears. Suspension's going to lower by a few millimeters. It's going to stiffen up. We've got you know, a sharper throttle response, sharper gearbox changes as well. And you can see even something this big is really, really capable, even in slow speed corners where things like this tend to roll about a little bit, tend to get a lot of understeer. With this Quattro system, it does a really, really nice job of handling its weight really well. You don't get a lot of understeer in the corners, and when you do start to push and get a little bit of understeer, you can feel it through the steering wheel really, really well. You're never guessing of how much steering lock to put in your corner. You're never guessing, you know, where you have grip and where you don't. You go ahead and do a couple gear pull here for you. Really great throttle response. Gear changes are fast, really fast. You don't really get, you know, that kind of refinement in your gearbox, especially on bigger cars like this. But, you know, if I want to go ahead and pull 2 gears down, it's really just right there for me. I think one little gripe I might have about this car, everything is not perfect. All cars have their flaws. I do like having the paddle shifters stationary, especially when you're going around a corner, especially if you're doing, you know, a hand over hand, you know, type of a corner. Paddles are never really where you've left them. So you kind of have to think, you know, where your up and down shifts are, which can be a little troublesome sometimes, especially if you're into, you know, really sporty driving. Comparing this car to the Urus, I really don't notice that much of a lack in power compared to the Urus. The Urus might feel a little bit more special, a little bit. What do you guys think of it so far?
you really don't tell when it's shifting gears. It's like, it's an instant.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it in auto and take it out of this RS mode and just throw it in like a comfort mode, I just went from 4 to 5.
It's so like seamless.
Yeah, and this car has, I believe, 8 or 9 gears. It's got a lot. You really aren't, 7 and 8 are really just for cruising on the freeway, keeping it at lower RPMs, trying to conserve your gas mileage, things like that.
Yeah.
If you're doing a lot of sporty driving, you're really gonna be using 1 through 5 or 1 through 6. But this kind of builds, as the RPMs go up, you can feel the power building as you go, which I feel like it encourages, you know, more spirited driving. Does the car feel fast to you guys?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting we're in a car this big.
Yeah, it's 5,200 pounds. This thing mobs for 5,200 pounds. I drive supercars every day, and I mean, even if I wanted something like this as a daily driver, this would not be boring to me at all. For a daily driver, which I think most people would be using this, there's no sense in buying an SUV and not, you know, using it a lot. People who buy this car are going to be, you know, want something fast and exciting that's still practical and they can drive every day. The track's really nice. Don't really have to hold onto the steering wheel really all that much. Same thing in the Urus. When you put the windows down, you get a lot of wind buffeting. Whether it's windy or not, it does tend to come into the cabin a lot. Good car. Thanks everyone, I hope you enjoyed our quick review of this Audi RSQ8. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to post them down in the comments. Thanks so much everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.